Let's talk about the fear of commitment. Now, this specific subject matter is one that is near and dear to my heart. As a matter of fact, this was the very first realization or the catalyst for my healing journey, or what I like to call the wholeness journey, or my wholeness journey, right? I had this moment of realizing just how deeply I had suppressed my emotional state. At the time, I was what most would call emotionally unavailable, not only in my relationships with others, but in my relationship with myself. I was so numb to my own emotions that I did not exactly understand what was going on internally about most of the time. And so when I had this moment, it was actually like a real come to Jesus type of moment, right? I was sitting in my apartment in the Bay Area when I was still living out there. And I was looking at this whiteboard that I had written all these projects that I wanted to get done. And as I looked at this whiteboard, I immediately thought to myself, why are none of these things getting done? Like, I have these aspirations and these goals, but why do none of them get complete? And I don't know where this came from. I can't tell y'all what conjured it, what sparked it, but just looking at that, immediately something snapped at me and I began to cry. And in the midst of those tears, and I'm talking boohoo tears, right? Straight sobbing. In the midst of those tears, I started getting these flashes of images of times that I had not committed to something and how it had ruined my life, whether it was within relationships, whether it was within my career, my jobs, different things that I did in my life. Basically, every area of my life had been painted by this fear of commitment. And so that was the beginning of my healing journey. That was me entering into this world of shadow work and inner work and truly doing the work, as we call it. And so in the last 2 years, I have gotten a different frame of reference, a different level of under and understanding of what this fear actually is and what it is telling us. Now, fear, just like any other emotional experience, is nothing more than an indicator, right? Our emotions are indicators. In the same way that, you have a dashboard in a car that tells you when different things are going on, that's what our emotions are for our internal state. And when we ignore those emotions, it's the same as ignoring the, check engine light, right? Or fix your tire light. If you don't do it, things are going to get worse and worse for you and you will end up getting hurt. And so when I finally stopped ignoring my emotions and looking at them and seeing what they're indicating to me, I realized that my fear of commitment was rooted in my belief that I was not worthy, I was not adequate, I was not good enough to have the things on the other side of whatever it is I desired. So I believed that I wasn't good enough to have a long-term, sustainable, healthy relationship. So I'll find ways to sabotage it, right? And the best way was just to simply not truly commit. Like, yeah, I'll be loyal to you, but I wasn't fully in the relationship. I was halfway in that relationship, right? Half here, half somewhere else. And I did that with every aspect of my life. It painted everything, right? I would look in projects that I did. I mean, before I published this book right here, Doing Me Guilt Free, before I published that, let me actually move this real quick so y'all can get a better look at it. Before I published that book back there, I had probably written maybe 4 or 5 other manuscripts of different books and ideas and things and concepts and screenplays, etc., that never moved from my digital shelf. They were collecting digital dust, as I like to call it. And again, I just thought to myself, well, it must be that I'm not interested. It's not the right timing. Something's wrong with it. I need to fix it. And then it would just get left on the wayside and nothing would happen with it. And that's where it would exist for eternity, right? In that digital graveyard. But when I started to introspect and reflect on what this fear of commitment was truly telling me, again, I started to realize deeper aspects. Number one was this feeling of inadequacy. I am not good enough, right? I am not competent enough was another one that showed up. I am not good enough to do this thing or to complete this thing or to finish this thing, right? I didn't have the identity of an author. Therefore, it was impossible for me to resonate with me, out of all people in the world, actually releasing a book, right? It was one thing to write it, one thing to formalize it, one thing to idealize and ideate and create and conceptualize. It was one thing to do all those things, but to put it out into the world for everybody else's consumption was beyond me, because I did not have the identity of an author. In the same way, I didn't have this identity of somebody who was worthy of love in a relationship for who I was. And so I'd either find relationships with individuals who wouldn't completely accept me for who I was, relationships I had to show up and be something other than what I was, or I wouldn't show up at all, right? Just a complete non-commitment, period. And so I understand that there are individuals out there who find themselves in this place of fearing commitment, and you might view it as, or people on the outside might view you as somebody who just ain't serious. Like you just don't care, you're negligent, or if you're in a relationship, like an intimate relationship, they might just think you're playing games, right? You don't want to be with them, you're not serious. But I'll tell you a firsthand experience, and I actually explained this in my videos, Confessions of an Emotionally Unavailable Man, part 1 and part 2. I'll be making a part 3 probably on my birthday, right? Come February 14th. So the thing that I learned in that experience, or being in that space, I guess you would say, being that person and that identity of fear of commitment, is that I genuinely wanted these things. I desired to have a healthy relationship. I desired to have, a successful life within my career and my purpose. I wanted to follow through. I wanted to release the books and put them out in the world. I wanted to record the videos and put them out, as opposed to just let them sit on my computer or second guess it halfway and then just delete everything, right? And choose something completely different. I didn't want to live this life that was half-assed and half-hearted. I'll be very honest with you. What I did want just seemed to not be playing out or manifesting, or I would find ways to sabotage it. And again, that came from this fear of commitment. And so when you find yourself in that place, there really is no external remedy for this. Like, I'm sorry, you can't get a silver bullet approach. You can't get a pill diagnosed to, or prescribed to you after a diagnosis of this. You can't go out there. But the beauty is you have the solution with you at all times. As a matter of fact, it lives with you. As a matter of fact, it came here with you the moment you were born. How beautiful is that? How wonderful is that the solution to your problems came with you? Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the solution? Where was it? Was it in the placenta? Was it, somewhere in my adrenals? Where is it located? Well, technically, it's located in you as you, right? You are the solution. You as the individual are the one who can introspect. You're the one who can go within and start looking at and investigating, why is it that I am afraid of commitment? What belief systems am I holding on to that make me believe that I am not worthy or deserving of love? Those are, or deserving of whatever it is that's on the other side, right? That I'm not deserving of abundance. I'm not deserving of a successful and fulfilling career that I choose, as opposed to something that I feel I have to do, right? Because a lot of this, which I didn't get too deep into, but I probably can make a different video for, is this belief that if I commit, I'm going to be stuck, right? If I commit, I will no longer be free. That's like the conscious rationalization of it. Right? I wanted to get deep into the subconscious, or deep into the belief, the root causes. But on the surface, you think to yourself, well, if I commit to writing this, now I have to really commit. Like, now I have no choice but to finish it. And that's one of our greatest fears as individuals who have this belief of incompetency, right? Oh, I fear being committed because I actually don't think I'm good enough to be committed. I don't think I'm good enough to follow through and to have this thing play out the way that I intended to. And so again, we really have to start to investigate ourselves, to be honest with ourselves. We have to start to get into those spaces of meditation, reflection, get your notebook out, right? They say, when you work, or they say a formal education will make you a living, but a self-education will make you a fortune. And I believe that to mean, like, you can go out there and learn all these technical things, you can learn all the trades and skills and this and that, but if you're not learning about yourself, if you're not investigating self, if you're not coming to understand who you are, then you will forever be on survival. You will forever be living this lackluster life. Maybe you might find a way to make money, but you're not going to ever feel fulfilled. You're not going to feel like a true success. You'll always feel like you're keeping up or catching up with, or, whatever you're doing is not enough. And so what I see is, once you start to allow yourself to go within, to go deeper, right? To ask yourself those questions that you may have been afraid to ask in times past. Once you start to do that, everything in your life will start to shift. Things in your life will start to change. You will start to see a drastic shift in the way in which you live. For myself, I am now one of the most committed individuals you will ever meet. If I say I'm going to do something, it's done. And the people around me know that. Whereas before, it was the complete opposite. He said he was going to do this. I don't know if he's going to do that. Now, I will tell you, okay, I'm going to finish this and it's going to be done on this day. This book was released 2 weeks before I told everybody. And I told them in the middle of writing the book that it's going to be released at that time. My next book, February 14th, 2024. It will be released on that day. I will let y'all know the title a little down the way. But that's when the book will be released. Now, am I saying that because it's done right now? No, it's about 87% done in the first manuscript. But I know this at this point in my experience because I have done what is necessary to connect back to the part of me that understands that I am not only competent and good enough, but I am enough to be an author. And it sounds so simple, it sounds so straightforward and obvious, but for some of us, it's not. For some of us, we look at our lives and we think, well, it's going to be easy for them, or it's easy for them to do these things. And, I can see how they can have it, but I don't know about myself. I don't know about little old me. I don't know if I have what it takes. Like, you're not as human as anybody else. Like, you're not as capable and able as anybody else, right? So you really have to. There's no other way but to go within, right? That's a place that most of us avoid. There's this like analogy of the gods of old, the Greek gods, right? And they were creating mankind. And they said, well, mankind has divinity within them because they are our creation, but we got to hide it somewhere. Otherwise they'll discover it. So where can we hide it? And so, one of them suggested, let's hide it in the mountaintops. And they said, nah, one day the human is going to climb to the mountaintop and find it. And another says, oh, let's put it at the deepest valleys of the oceans. And they said, I think at some point in time, they're going to reach the bottom of the ocean. And then the other says, I think we should hide it within. And they all agreed and said, oh, that's an excellent idea. Sensational. That's on point. That's lit, right? That's it. I'm him, whatever, right? They all agreed on that because they knew that that was the one place that mankind would look least. And so here we are. We're in a state where most people are living in that state of consciousness. Most people are living within that state of existence where they are looking for answers everywhere else besides themselves. And when you catch yourself in that place, then you are literally looking for the solution in the wrong place. You're looking for love in all the wrong places. You're looking for life in all the wrong places. It is only located in one place, and that's within. And you must go within in order to even understand what the heck I'm talking about, right? Go meditate. Go just 10 minutes, 20 minutes of silent meditation, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a world in there. There's an entire universe in there. And either it's going to creep you the hell out or it's going to liberate you. And it's probably going to do both, to be honest, just depending on where you are within your own experience. So that being said, before I dip out of here, shameless plug, boom, boom, boom. This is my first published book, Doing Me Guilt-Free. Make sure to get yourself a copy of this book, Doing Me Guilt-Free. Now, I changed the subheader or the subheader, I guess it is, from breaking free from people pleasing and unleashing your personal power to just from powerlessness to personal power. So that's what this is about. Doing you guilt-free. I know the world needs this more than it ever has before because I know I need it and have needed it more than I ever have before, right? I wish I had that when I was 7 years old and 17 and here at 27 and all the other sevens for the rest of my life, because that right there would have set me free a long time ago. So make sure to get your copy by clicking the link in the description below. Until then, or until the next time, love you guys. Appreciate you. Peace.